Yo, what's up? I know you don't like that, yeah. But anyway, today I will talk about how I plan my road trips with an EV. So I just happen to be in a Tesla Model 3, and yes, I take road trips with a Tesla. But in this video, I will have actually just a little bit of Tesla specific tips, but most of the other tips and explanation will be EV generic, yeah. And I also try to minimize this and limit it within Europe, so I will use only metric, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so what you can expect from this video is some tip about which charging apps maybe you want to use, something about how fast you can travel, charging tip, maybe some hotels, some routes, yeah, something like that. So the first thing you should know is how is your EV performing. So again, I will talk about this average speed including charging time. Yeah, it's very generic again because it depends on many factors, but as a general rule of thumb, I've seen it many times that you can set a certain average speed for a specific car, and that's what you can actually expect when you go on a long trip. So, again, it's just an average number. So keep in mind it's an average number, because once I start mentioning these numbers, you might say, no, but I was able to go faster, or no, I couldn't go that fast. Yeah, but it's just average, okay? So far, I see that Teslas, they can average about 95 kilometers per hour. Okay, and then e-tron can average 90 kilometers per hour. It's pretty fast because it charges very fast, even though it's thirsty. And then most other EVs, as long as they have active cooling, they can average 85 kilometers per hour. And then we have these cars without active cooling, like Leaf, e-tron, Leaf, e-Golf, e-Up. They can average 65 kilometers per hour. And then we have Zoe without DC fast charging, at least the old one, yeah. Then I expect 50 kilometers per hour. So based on this, you can plan your trip. So we're gonna come back to that. This next topic is about making a plan. So in the old days, I used to make a big-ass plan, very detailed. Nowadays, it's not that detailed, fortunately, because we have so many superchargers or so many fast chargers throughout Europe. But it's still very useful to have that plan, because in that plan I will list where I'm going first, which date it is, how many kilometers, and also which hotel I have booked. So as soon as I book a hotel, I will just put it in there so I know, I keep track of it. And also some cost here. Yeah, I'm not sure if that cost is correct, but okay, whatever. And I, based on the previous topic about how fast your car is able to travel, including charging time, then it's easy to estimate how far you can go in one day. So it depends. Do you want to drive 16 kilometers? Do you want to drive 16 hours in one day? Or are you more comfortable with 10 hours? And then you can just chill in the evening. So that's up to you. But then based on the average speed of the car, you can see how far you can go. And then I use Google Maps to try to figure out which city I will end up with in by the end of the day, or whatever the time I want to arrive, because I don't want to arrive at midnight every night, at some location. And okay, next topic is about which route to take, and I would just limit this one to that stretch between Hamburg and Oslo, roughly, because you have people traveling those directions a lot. So there are lots of ferries you can take, lots of options. I tried some of it in the past, and personally I prefer the land route, so meaning going over Øresund Bridge and Storebælt, because some of these ferries, like Larvik Hirtshals, has only 2 departures per day. And then you have Helsingborg-Helsingør. That one requires you to go into the city, and you have to pass through 2 cities, and I just want to cruise on the highway. So, but of course, the Helsingborg-Helsingør would be useful if you have a car that doesn't travel that fast, Same thing with Puttgarden, Rødbyhavn. That one might also be a good deal if you don't have a too fast car with too good range or too fast charging. But I prefer the land route, and actually my claim is that the land route is cheaper, well, at least for me, who drives a Tesla. But if you can also charge on Ionity, then the land route might be cheaper, given that you have these special deals I will talk about. So if you get the Brobis transponder, then you get 63% discount on Øresund Bridge. And then if you get Club Storebelt deal, you can sign up for that one with the same chip. Then you get 21% discount on that bridge. So it means that just taking one round trip per year you will save money, because you have to, in order to get that deal, you have to pay about 20 euros, I think, per year. But the saving is way bigger than that, so you should consider it. And okay, one last thing I will talk about is Hamburg. Yes, Hamburg. So I would try to pass Hamburg in the evening. From time to time I look at the Google Maps and it just looks so congested, that place, in the daytime. So, but usually when I pass there in the evening, it seems to be okay. Yeah, maybe also early. I also passed there early morning. That was also okay. So Hamburg is troublesome. For you guys who don't know, they've been building roads there around Hamburg for a long time. So sometimes the bridge, the Elbe, not the bridge, Elbe tunnel might even be closed. So I also took a detour once, but I think the detour was too long. So yeah, so it's always troublesome, Hamburg. Okay, anyway, let's go to next topic, which is apps or websites to use. So Supercharger Info, they don't have an app, but they have, well, actually there's another app called Supercharger or something for the phone. But Supercharger Info, it's more or less like a community-based system. It's not official by Tesla, but it shows Tesla Supercharger. And with that one, it's easy to plan routes. You can just take 2 superchargers or whatever, and then you can easily see which supercharger that route goes through, and also another nice feature with the Supercharger Info is that you can see how many stalls each location has, because usually I try to avoid the supercharger sites with few stalls, maybe only 6 stalls or something, and I try to go for the ones with at least 12 or 20 stalls, yes, to avoid congestion. Next platform, app, whatever, is Ionity. Yes, Ionity is getting bigger and bigger in Europe. That's great. So they have 350 kilowatt fast chargers throughout Europe. And well, okay, you don't get 350 kilowatt. Most cars nowadays, they get 40 to 190 kilowatt. So that's still pretty good. And what I like about Ionity is that it's right by the highway usually. They place them like they have the same charging strategy as Tesla. So they place them right by the highway, short detour, and they also have several chargers, not only 1 or 2 like some of the other charging networks. They usually have 4, 6, or 8 chargers. So that's really great. And a nice bonus is that the Ionity chargers, they cost, as for now, they cost 8 euros per session. Yeah. So it doesn't pay off for an Ionic user, but at least for most other people it pays off, especially in Denmark and Sweden. Some people have been tricked by Bee or Clever, freaking expensive. Yeah, but then use Ionity and then it's good. But there's one downside with Ionity, which is that they're trying to push away Chanamo. Yeah, well, okay. No, I'm not accusing Ionity for anything, sorry for that, but I mean, they just don't have Chanamo plugs, so only CCS plugs. So if you have an all you have an old Kia Soul, or you have any of these Leafs or the triplets with Chanamo plugs, then no luck for you. Yeah, no soup for you, that's right. Alright, next platform is plug surfing. Yes, if you want to travel through Europe, you need plug surfing. So plug surfing is not a charging company. They don't own any chargers. They just have a platform where they give you access to several different charging networks, and it's by far the biggest in Europe. So as long as you have plug surfing, you can access lots and lots. I don't know the number now. It's just growing and growing number of charging points that you can access via plug surfing. So that's great. And also you have live status. I'm not sure how reliable it is. It might be a little bit delayed, but you can at least get an impression of how busy a charger is, whether you should go there or the other one or whatever. And also you can start charging and pay via the app. But you can also order RFID, and some charging stations require RFID to start charging. So I would recommend to get the RFID, and also with that one, with that plug surfing chip, you can also start Ionity sessions. So they take a little fee to start the Ionity, so it's slightly more expensive, but it's faster and it won't time out on the Ionity charger. Yeah. So, but the downside with plug surfing is that you have to be careful. Like I mentioned previously, some places, like if you go to Clever in Sweden, B, yeah, or in Denmark, they have some really high roaming price there. So over €1 per kilowatt hour. So just be careful. Check. You can see in the app or in the website how expensive it is, and then you can figure out if you want to do it or not. Another problem I ran into, I'm not sure if this is a one-time thing, but at Hallstatt, I look at this charging site there, and it was supposed to be in a tunnel or something. Well, what the heck? But then I look up on PlugShare, and I found that it was wrong address in plug surfing. So, yeah, just be aware. You have to double check, maybe with another platform, just to see if that that location is correct or not. So anyway, yes, let's go back. Let's go to the next one. This is why do you keep saying back to the future? Maybe no. Let's go to PlugShare then. PlugShare is a community-based platform. So they don't own any chargers. Again, they don't own any business by running it like that, like plug surfing. Similar name, but here anyone can add a charge point in that map. And anyone can add information. What I like about it is that people who use them, they add pictures or they write useful information about where it is, how you can find it, or stuff like that. So it's really great. PlugShare, yeah. So I use it also, like I mentioned, I used that one to double check Hallstatt, and I found that it was on the further south, and there were also several pictures of it. So PlugShare is priceless. There's also, there's another thing called no, I don't remember. There's so many of these similar ones, but I should mention that PlugShare is not updated by the charging companies. So I also checked in Oslo in the Fortum site where they recently installed a 225 kilowatt hypercharger, and it's not updated in PlugShare because it's the community that updates them. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Technically, Fortum could be a PlugShare user and then update that one if they care about it. But I think they just want people to use Fortum app or something else then. Yeah, but also I think that will be it. I don't want to talk too much about these apps. It will confuse you more. Yeah, but okay. Next topic is about hotels. So I prefer using hotels.com. I was not sponsored by hotels.com. It's just that I've been using it for years. Sometimes I also use booking.com, but booking.com user interface is so messy compared to hotels.com. So I use that one, and the nice bonus is that for every 10 nights you stay, you get bonus. Well, actually, it counts 10% of that value of that night, and then you get a bonus night somewhere, so free at your choice. But hotels.com, they have this nice filter where you can choose to show hotels with charging stations. So I guess Tesla destination chargers, they will show up there. And that also means that usually that only the expensive hotels will show up. But of course, if you can afford a Tesla, then you can afford staying at 5-star hotels, right? What about people with Model 3 Standard Range Plus? They're not that they're not that rich. No, but anyway. So okay, so you should try to charge at the hotel if you can, because you could also go to a fast charger or a supercharger before you go to a hotel. I've done that in the past, but it's just that it takes that extra time. And when there's been days when I arrive at a supercharger in Rade at midnight, and then I look at my wife and I say, we have to stay here 45 minutes. And she'd be like, yeah. So it would be better if I could just go straight to the hotel with low storage charge and then charge it up during the night, right? Yeah, so it's, but then again, it depends on the location. Some locations might be really cumbersome when it comes to slow charging. So in that case, it might be better to actually spend that extra 15-30 minutes to fast charge. Yeah, because you should fast charge in the night or in the evening. Don't go to the hotel with somewhat low state of charge and expecting to fast charge in the morning, because during the night the battery will cool down, and then in the morning you get shitty speed. Yes, listen to Uncle Bjørn. Yeah. Another nice thing is that you can ask hotel if they have charging after you. It might not even show up on the app or whatever, you know. They might have a shuko or something. Some hotels even have red plugs. So yeah, maybe you get some nice juice there. And I also bring this electric scooter with me when I go on trips, because I found out that with that electric scooter I can extend my reach. So I stayed in a hotel. It was in where was it? Stockholm. Yeah, I stayed on a hotel, and then there was a Type 2 charging station 2 kilometers away. 2 kilometers usually takes 20 minutes to walk each direction. So if I would walk or run, then I would probably not bother. But because of the electric scooter, then you know you don't have to stay right next to a charging station or whatever. So that gives you more flexibility. Alright, next topic is about charging tips. So once you go on a long trip and you charge up and go to the next one, you shouldn't charge more than about 70-80%. Yeah, it depends on your car, except for if you have an e-tron, because e-tron charges so fast. So with e-tron, you can just charge to whatever level you want. You want to go 90%, 100%, doesn't matter. Yes, I'm not envious. Okay, I'm a little bit envious. Yeah. And then you should try to arrive with at the next one with about 10%. Don't try to aim for 5% or 1%. That's a bit risky. In case of a detour, traffic jam or something, then you know you might run out of juice or low on juice. So that's and also if you have a dinner with your family and it takes a very long time and the charging finishes, then you should try to move your car. Yeah. Don't stay there, especially if you have a Tesla. You might get idle fee. That would be really expensive. So move your car if the charging is finished. Right, next topic is about consumption. So what affects the consumption? There are many factors, but I would say that speed is one of the most important factors. If you drive fast, you will consume a lot. But on the other hand, with most cars, it actually pays off to cruise at decent speed, cruise at 120 or whatever. But I would just say that speed increases the consumption. So in a case where you have to save energy, then you can just drop your speed, very important, and then you will save energy. Next one is elevation. So when you go uphill, you will use more energy, but then unfortunately when you go downhill, you get most of the energy back again. I say about 80%. So yeah. And then rain also increases consumption. If you see that you have rain, then be a little bit careful. Same with headwind, but also this depends on the car. But yeah, headwind, especially strong headwind in Denmark, could actually, it could mean quite a lot to the consumption. You have no idea. Some cars like e-tron, you know, will be very much affected by it. And then also temperature is somewhat significant, but it's not like night and day. But if it's 25 degrees Celsius versus 10 degrees, then you also have a little bit of difference there. Mainly because not that much because you have to use the heater, but it's based on the air density. When you have more dense air, you try to cruise at 120. Then it brings up the friction, yeah, the air friction. And also, shouldn't be necessary for me to say, but if you're pulling a trailer or if you have bicycles or cargo box on the roof, then obviously you have more consumption. All right, last topic is what kind of equipment should you bring? I would say that for most EVs nowadays, you can actually go almost empty-handed. Just especially with Tesla. You can live off superchargers. You can even just supercharge and then go around the city, do whatever sightseeing you do, and then go back to the supercharger if it's a supercharger close to the hotel. Let's say, yeah, in Amsterdam, there's a supercharger near hotel, so that works out for you. But I still recommend that you should bring a Type 1, Type 2 cable with you. so you can slow charge somewhere when you can. It's also better for the battery to not fast charge all the time. And also you should also bring the Shuko charging cable, whatever it is, you know, the UMC or whatever charging cable that comes with the car. Also bring that one in case you have to charge on Shuko. And also maybe you can bring a juice booster, or if you have some kind of equipment like that. So the juice booster will allow you to charge on it acts as a charging station. It's like a mobile charging station. You can connect it to various things, industrial red plug or blue plug, and then you can get faster speed than a Shuko or something. But I wouldn't consider it like a must-have. But if you really want to be hardcore, have the best coverage, if you go into the bush, then juice booster is nice, like Finnmark. Yeah. And as for Tesla, it's also useful to bring a CHAdeMO adapter or a CCS adapter. But it depends. For Model 3, you don't need that because the Model 3 has a CCS plug already. But CHAdeMO adapter is still nice even today. Yeah. So I think that completes the guide. Yeah, I hope this was useful. I'm not sure if I've forgotten anything, but I tried to be as detailed as much. So I hope this video encouraged you to take your EV, your Kona, or maybe even your Leaf on a long trip. So I mean, just remember, you know, you're on a trip. You're supposed to have fun and enjoy life and enjoy the trip. You know, you're not rushing it. You're not on a mission to deliver something. You know, so it's okay if you only travel 500 kilometers per day. You don't have to hammer 1,500 kilometers per day. You know, yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.